all, time for another Coffee with Kilroy. Grab a cup of Joe, Java, juice, whatever you'd like. Join me for a page turn of today, Battles of Medieval Britain, a Solitaire Wargame by Mike Lambo. This is in a series of solitaire war games that Mike Lambo has been doing. He's, I believe, I'm not sure which one the first one was, but I think it was dealing either with B-17 bomber. Imagine that, right? Given the B-17 Queen of the Skies solo game, Avalon Hill game from many years ago. And I think he's done a couple on Normandy. I don't know which of those three came first, but he now has Battles of Medieval Britain and one on Vietnam, which, teaser or spoiler alert, I might be doing a Coffee with Kilroy on that at some point. These games are not new to the hobby. Excuse me, but they are becoming more prevalent in the hobby. I've done some page turns in the past on one page, World War II. This is really kind of more of a roll and write kind of thing. Well, not really roll and write, but it's very similar to some aspects of Lambo's games. Worthington has a whole line of these: Bismarck Solitaire, Waterloo Solitaire, Braveheart Solitaire. Well, there's a little bit of spoiler alert there. Anyway, so this is something that's becoming, as I said, prevalent in the hobby. There's at least, Worthington's doing a whole line. Mike Lambo's got a whole line of those. There's others out there that are doing these. And it makes sense. I mean, whether this is a way to avoid some of the supply chain issues or whether this is just a response to COVID and isolation and playing more solitaire, playing war games in a more solitaire environment or format, what have you. These games are now there's several offerings out there, and I always think that's a good thing to have variety and have several offerings of these kind of games. Battles of Medieval Britain here. Covers battles fought between the year 937 and 1403. By modern standards, the forces on each side were small in size, but battles were fierce and bloody and were no place for the faint-hearted. In the game, the players will be commanding various units, often representing many hundreds of men, each seeking to achieve various objectives. Key battles from different years are included, although all fall with what we generally refer as the medieval period. The players will control various different armies and units depending on the battles. The aim of this book is to present a clear, accessible, and quick-to-learn game so that players can get into the action quickly. It does not try to replace more complex war games, which often take many hours to learn and play. Each battle can be played in around 20 to 30 minutes, and each one should provide plenty of replayability due to the random setup of the initial forces and the composition and location of reinforcements. Enjoy the challenge presented. One thing that I find interesting about this book is it's taken on medieval battles. The ones I just showed you before, they've done Napoleonic and, there is the medieval battles with Braveheart, so I find that, but the Worthington line of games are a little bit more static battles where it's the situation of where the forces historically lined up, and then you're making decisions and scratching off forces of each side to try to obtain a victory, depending on what the victory conditions are for that. These are a little bit different, and these are, in my opinion, a little bit more tactical. You're kind of on the ground and moving your forces in that way. So let's turn into this a little bit more. You've got your contents in here, and the interesting thing about this is, like Waterloo is just Waterloo. Braveheart is 2 battles. This one has, I think, 12 battles in it. So you've got that one. That doesn't have 12. Yeah, it has 12 battles in it, from Brandenburg, Fulford Gate, Stamford Bridge. We've all heard of that one. Hastings, you probably heard of that one. The Standard, Lewis, Evesham, Oran Bridge, Stirling Bridge, Falkirk, Bannockburn, and Shrewsbury. So I mean, you've got 12 battles in here, spanning from 937 to 1403. That's quite a bit of variety there as well. Here's an introduction. Here's how the book works. You've got your rules and the battle maps, and here's your terrain. These are in color. That's nice. That's a little bit different from that first book I showed you over there that came out probably before any of these, I believe. That was out there, the World War, what's it called again? It's the one-page World War II. That one is black and white. You got your player forces, enemy forces. You know, there's range. There's a 2-hit number. You know, there's the different type of weapons they have. You've got your setup, your turn tracker. There's reinforcements depending upon the scenario. So I mean, this looks like a war game, right? I mean, this looks like all the stuff we're you know, expecting in a typical war game. You have your turn process here, and with any solitaire game, you know, there's a sequential process that you need to follow to, you know, to do your side, and then have the AI do its side, or vice versa. Here's your orders. Some rules on flanking. There's rules on shield wall, rules on flanking and support. So you're bringing in some of the tactics of unique to medieval combat, or specific to medieval combat. Enemy attacks. Here's tactical considerations, talking about some of the different units. Warrior, infantry, spearmen, archers, horsemen. Some different tactical considerations depending upon the type of unit. You can adjust difficulty in the scenario as well. And here's a player aid. And I would imagine that if you're going to play a lot of this, you probably want to copy this and hold this off to the side, so you're not always flipping back to it. That's the other thing too with these books. You know, I don't write in books. I just hate that. That's something that's, you know, that's me, right? So you're going to need to figure out a way to put some paper over here, trace paper, and write up stuff, or copy these. Or do something like that, unless you're fine with just writing on it and then erasing, but you know, they're going to show the wear and tear over time. So you have your battles. It gives you a little background of the battle. It tells you what units are and where you set them up. You've got your English orders chart. You know, this one, see here, you've got the AI alliance and AI reinforcements, and then terrain, some whatever the special features are on the terrain, which will modify your 2-hit factor. These numbers on the board, I think this usually is where the reinforcements come in. This might tell you where they come in at certain points, and you have reinforcements here, or it might deal with the orders as well. Here's your turn track. So you know, it's something we're familiar with, a hex board with terrain. And as I said here, you can see this is a little bit more tactical. It's not like the set situation of that battle like you might see in the Worthington's Waterloo or Braveheart. This is more of a fluid piece of moving units around, and which is, you know, kind of what we're used to with a traditional war game. So each one of these is a battle. Here is Brandenburg, and then each one of these is a battle that's going to have the units and their orders. Like you're going to roll a d6 here, which is not included with the book. So I mean, hopefully that was obvious. You're going to roll a d6, and it's going to tell you what they're going to do, right? What in this case, the archers or warriors either move or attack, or shield wall, move or attack, and the like. And again, turn track here. Here you have some water terrain. Here's Stamford Bridge, and you know, unlike the movie Braveheart, hey, we actually have a bridge there. Well, that was Stirling Bridge. Sorry, we'll get to that one in a second here. This was Stamford Bridge in 1066. This preceded Hastings in a very fateful year of 1066. And there you go, speak of the devil, there's Hastings. And quite a lot of stuff on this one, so this one's a little bit more involved scenario here. And I imagine this is probably objective hex of some sort, or something going on there. Maybe that's a entry hex. So as you can see here, there's quite a few battles. They're all different. There's all different in the setup and the AI. There's all different in the maps. So quite a bit of content in this book. There's Sterling Bridge. Hey, and it's got a bridge. There we go. Now we're cooking. So yeah, as I said here, these all look pretty interesting on how this plays out. And I think all the games in the Lambo series are similar to this, where there's a hex board and AI and you know, all your information is over here. You got your stuff on your map here. I believe that's so. I only have 2 of them. Question, you know, which one do you think I have coming up next? But I might look into others of these because this interests me. I'm a big fan of solitaire games, and these look like these are interesting enough to you know, worth playing, because you know, you're making some decisions. And to me, the key to a good solitaire game is it are you making meaningful decisions? If it's just a puzzle, then it might be fine for a few plays, but after a while, you're going to get kind of bored with it, or it could be solved, right? If it's something that is where decisions are made and the AI is decent, if not good, meaning it's tough, then it's going to present a challenge. You're going to have to make different decisions or try to do different things each time you play it, and have different outcomes. And that to me is a good sign of a solo play, or a solo friendly or a solo specific war game. Also, to me, the other aspect of it is, just like with any war game, does it capture the theme? Does it simulate the battle or recreate some of the elements or situations or decisions of the battle at issue? This looks like it might do that. It's got some very specific things on where they set up and how they move and how they attack, and what forces you have, and so and the terrain comes into play on it. So those are all common factors in any war game on presenting you with challenges and decisions to simulate the conflict. So that you know, that looks good. That I like that, so Mr. Lambo might be onto something there. I don't know why there's a blank page there. Well, there's a couple blank pages there. Sometimes they do that. Never quite understood that. But that's what you get in Battles of Medieval Britain. He's got others in this series. As I said, I think he's got a couple Normandy B-17 bomber type one, which probably is a lot different than these land tactical battles, and a Vietnam one. So and there might be more planned. I really haven't read up much on this. I know, like on the Worthington line, there's more to come on that. I think those have been very, very successful. But I've actually seen some page throughs of these as well. So these are starting to catch on. You know, Lambo series is starting to catch on as well. So it's a great time to be a solitaire wargamer with some of these offerings out here. Of course, you know, solitaire wargamers play, you know, 2-player or multiplayer games, solitaire all the time. There's a whole debate on that. I might put that in the description below if you want to see that. But these are, I think, are fit a very niche a demand. I mean, I think there's kind of been more of a demand out of there based on COVID. So these are kind of filling that void now that hopefully we're getting back to some sense of normalcy, whatever that is. You know, maybe will these still stick around? Will there still be the big need for these? I don't know. I think they might have gotten a foothold established a beachhead maybe, and so maybe they can expand out from there. But we'll see. What do you all think? Do you like these games? Do you think they're interesting? Have a sip of your coffee. What do you think the future of this is? Or do you like the way the Worthington does it? Do you like the way the Lambo's does it? Are you interested in seeing more of these titles in different variety? Love to hear your thoughts on that. But this has been, you know, Coffee with Kilroy. I know your time is precious, so thanks for spending any of it with me. I really do appreciate that. And I love these little coffee talks. Um, my schedule is going to be changing over the next few weeks. I'm going more from going to a hybrid remote as opposed to pretty much a fully remote that I've been for a couple years now. So you might see more or less of me, maybe more towards the end of the week's weekends, and less maybe during the week because I don't have as many breaks on that. It's not as convenient. So, but again, thank you for spending any time with me, and have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching.